The Matrix.
Lo único que te ofrezco es la verdad, nada más.
The Matrix series. In The Matrix, Neo thinks he is living an ordinary life, but in reality, the world he sees isn't real at all. Long ago, there was a war between humans and machines, and humans lost. Now, the real Earth is destroyed and empty, and intelligent machines have taken over. These machines grow humans in pods and use their bodies as living batteries to get energy. But to keep humans under control, they trap their minds inside a computer program called the Matrix. This simulation looks and feels exactly like the real world, so people never realize they are actually trapped. The machines made the Matrix look like life in the late 1990s. Earlier, they tried creating perfect, peaceful worlds, but people's minds didn't accept them. So they chose an era with both good and bad parts to keep everyone fooled and stop them from questioning their reality. What makes this dystopia so scary is that people don't even realize they are trapped. They think they are living normal lives, but in truth, the real world is ruined, toxic, and empty. There is also a small group of humans who have escaped the Matrix. They live underground in a place called Zion. Life there is very hard because they have very few resources and are always under attack by the machines. For people who wake up from the Matrix, survival is dangerous. If they die in the Matrix, they die in real life too. Neo, who wakes up to the truth, gains special powers because he understands that the Matrix is just a program with rules that can be broken. But even with these powers, his journey is filled with danger, loneliness, and deep fear about what is real. The worst part of the Matrix is the psychological pain. People spend their entire lives in a fake world, thinking they are free and happy without ever knowing they are being used like batteries. The machines use agents to keep everything under control and to remove anyone who starts questioning the system. Even for those who escape, there is always doubt that reality itself is just another illusion. Panem, the Hunger Games.
If you think for 1 second that the Capitol will ever treat us fair.
Panem was formed after North America was destroyed by environmental disasters and wars. The capital, which is the main city, was built in the Rocky Mountains and now controls 12 districts. There used to be a District 13 too, but it was completely destroyed because it rebelled against the capital. What makes Panem so terrifying is its use of advanced technology to carry out extreme cruelty. Every year they hold the Hunger Games, where children from each district are forced to fight and kill each other on live TV. The rich people in the capital watch it for entertainment. But the real reason behind these games is to scare the districts. It's the capital's way of saying, if you rebel, we will take your children away. It also makes the districts hate each other instead of uniting against the capital. Life in Panem is very harsh. Most districts live in poverty and hunger. Children can enter their names multiple times in the lottery to get extra food for their families, but this increases their chances of being chosen for the games. So, the poorest kids are always in the most danger. Inside the arena, these kids, called tributes, face deadly challenges like dangerous animals created by the capital, rough landscapes, and, of course, each other. All of this is shown to the people in the capital, who watch it like a fun reality show. The capital citizens live in extreme luxury and don't care about the pain of others. Meanwhile, the capital uses propaganda and strict control to keep everyone quiet. The Island, 2005.
There is no island! Come on!
Lincoln 6 Echo and Jordan 2. Delta live in an underground facility where everything is strictly controlled. They're told the Earth outside is poisoned and that this compound is the only safe place left. The only way out is by winning a lottery that promises a trip to a paradise called the Island. But in truth, they are clones, created to provide organs or babies for rich people. The lottery isn't a reward, it's a death sentence. When someone wins, they are taken away to be killed for their organs or used as surrogates. The facility keeps them obedient by making everyone dress the same, follow strict routines, and avoid relationships. They're watched all the time, so they never question anything. Lincoln starts to doubt things when he has strange dreams and sees a moth flying in the facility. This makes him realize the outside might not be poisonous. He soon learns the terrible truth about their real purpose. When a nurse kills a female clone after she gives birth, it shows how cruel the system really is. The clones survive because they don't know the truth. But once they find out, they risk everything to escape into a world full of dangers and people hunting them down. They've been taught to fear the outside world and believe the lottery is a blessing. This makes escaping even harder because they must fight their own fears. The cruelest part is how the system gives them hope only to destroy them. San Angeles, Demolition Man.
Calma, calma, solo quiero cerveza y comida, ¿sí?
¿Piensa pagar por esto?
San Angeles is a huge city that was formed after big earthquakes and the collapse of society in Southern California during the mid-90s. It merged Los Angeles, San Diego, and Santa Barbara into one massive city. This new society is run by Dr. Raymond Cocteau, who controls everything like a strict leader. Under his rule, life looks perfect on the surface. There is no crime, poverty, or sickness because every part of life is strictly controlled. People aren't allowed to swear, eat spicy food, or even touch each other physically. Even reproduction and the words people use are carefully monitored. Everyone lives in a clean, peaceful world where propaganda constantly tells them things like, "You look great today." If someone breaks the rules or acts differently, they are fined or shunned by society. Living in San Angeles seems easy because there is no violence and people are physically safe. But the real struggle is mental. People have to give up their personal freedom, emotions, and the ability to think for themselves. They live under constant control and fake positivity, where even simple things like kissing or swearing are banned. This turns them into calm and obedient people with no real feelings. What makes San Angeles different from other dystopias is that it doesn't use open violence or starvation to control people. Instead, it forces everyone to be happy and content all the time by taking away their freedom and individuality. The Wall Enclosure. Attack on Titan. The Wall. Enclosure in Attack on Titan is on Paradise Island, where King Carl Fritz built 3 massive walls, Maria, Rose, and Sheena, to shield humanity from the Titans outside. But these weren't just giant stone barriers. Hidden inside each wall were countless Colossus Titans, standing dormant like silent giants, ready to awaken if anyone tried to destroy them. This extreme decision came after a brutal war between Eldia and Marley. Wanting to end the endless bloodshed, King Fritz chose total isolation. He believed that cutting his people off from the world was the only way to stop the cycle of violence. Inside the walls, people grew up thinking they were the last humans left. They were taught to worship the walls and fear the Titans beyond them. Their minds were shaped to obey authority without question, leaving them feeling protected yet trapped at the same time. Life within the walls wasn't easy. Even though they were safe from Titans roaming outside, they still lived in constant fear. Food shortages happened often, especially after failed military operations. And when the Titans finally broke through, like when Wall Maria fell in 845, entire districts were destroyed. Survivors had to flee deeper into the city, traumatized and forced to live under strict rationing. Anyone who dared to question the system was punished harshly. What makes this dystopia especially cruel is the truth behind the walls. The very creatures people feared were hidden within their own walls. The thing that kept them safe was built from the enemy itself. Borderland. Alice in Borderland.
Juegos.
Tienes que sobrevivir.
Juegos.
It is a Japanese dystopian thriller based on Haro Aso's manga. It starts in Tokyo, where Arisu, a lost and aimless young man, suddenly finds himself and his friends in a strange, empty version of the city called the Borderland. In this eerie world, everyone is forced to play deadly games to extend their visa. If their visa runs out, a laser shoots down from the sky and kills them instantly. The entire system is built around a deck of playing cards. Each game has a suit and number that decide the type of challenge and how dangerous it is. Clubs are team games that test cooperation. Diamonds are logic games that challenge your intellect. Spades are physical games demanding strength and endurance. Hearts are the most brutal, forcing players into emotional betrayal and testing their morals to the breaking point. As players move forward, they face the powerful face card games like kings, queens, and jacks. These are tougher, involving leadership battles, deception, or intense survival challenges. Once all the face cards are defeated, players get a choice: stay in the Borderland or leave. But then comes the mysterious Joker card. No one really knows what it means, but many think it stands for rebirth, uncertainty, or purgatory. The Borderland feels like a test that strips away all normal rules and shows what people are like when survival is the only thing that matters. The scariest part is that no one knows how they got there, who's behind it, or if leaving will truly save them. Everyone lives in fear of the next game, the next betrayal, and the idea that this world might be a reflection of their own inner chaos. Westview, WandaVision.
To tell me who I am.
Westview looks like a peaceful suburban town in New Jersey, but in reality, it's a prison created by Wanda Maximoff. Grieving Vision's death, she uses her chaos magic to build a fake sitcom world where everything seems perfect. Inside this world, surrounded by an invisible hex barrier, the real residents are trapped. Wanda controls their minds, forcing them to act out roles in her fantasy, living each day like characters in an old TV show. What makes Westview so disturbing is that these people aren't just physically trapped. They lose their free will. Their memories, actions, and even emotions are controlled, leaving them stuck in lives they never chose. Wanda created this world out of deep pain. After losing her parents, brother, and Vision, she wanted a place where nothing bad could ever happen again. But keeping this illusion going isn't easy. She constantly rewrites people's memories, directs every conversation, and fixes anything that doesn't fit her perfect storyline. The townspeople suffer silently as their real identities are buried under the roles Wanda forces them to play. In Westview, no one can fight back without breaking down mentally or being cast out of the hex. The cruelest part is how Wanda turns their captivity into something that looks happy. Relationships are fake, and trauma is hidden behind sitcom laughter, making their loss of freedom even more chilling. Squid Game. Squid Game is about people in South Korea who are deeply in debt and desperate for money. They're forced to play deadly versions of simple childhood games like red light, green light, and marbles. All of this is organized by a secret group to entertain wealthy VIPs who watch them suffer and die for fun. The creator, Hwang Dong-hyuk, came up with this idea from his own struggles with debt during the 2008 financial crisis. The show reflects how harsh life can feel when you're poor and desperate. But the real motive behind it is far darker. The organizers and VIPs aren't driven by greed. They're driven by boredom, power, and a deep emptiness inside. Il-nam, the old man from Season 1, reveals that he was actually one of the VIPs. Even though he had all the money he could ever want, life felt meaningless to him. So he and other elites created these games just to feel something again, betting on people's lives like it's entertainment. The front man who runs the games was once a player himself. Now he keeps the system going because he believes people are naturally selfish and corrupt, and that true fairness doesn't exist. That's why the games have such simple rules: win or die, no cheating. But these rules are twisted into brutal tests that force players to betray each other just to survive. Dressed in plain green tracksuits and watched by masked guards in pink, the players are made to feel like nameless objects instead of human beings. The real pain is the fear of dying and seeing how they lose trust in each other. They are forced to betray their friends to stay alive. The physical danger destroys them, and the mental torture breaks them even more. They want to be kind, but the games push them to save themselves first. But what happens when survival is no longer the goal and cruelty becomes the choice? When the game isn't about escaping death, but controlling it? Fiction's most evil female serial killers are waiting. Watch what happens next.